Welcome to Hard Mode and Hardware, and welcome to part 2 of the beginner's guide to getting started in Astroneer. So, in the first part of this guide, we landed, we built our very first starter base, we've built our large printer, and which is going to let us print all sorts of good stuff that we're going to need. We know how to make tethers, we know how to use tethers, we know what compound and resin look like and how to dig for them as well. So, that is the bare minimum you need to get started, but I thought we need a bit more information to really start cracking on with this game and to really sort of get your exploration chops up, as it were. So, if you haven't seen the first part of the guide, you can check it out here. There's a link on screen now. There's also a link in the description, so go check that out if you haven't already, and then come straight back here because this is going to be good information as well. So, in Astroneer, you've got compound and you've got resin. They're your first two and your main ingredients for everything. But from there, oh, you've also got plant matter as well, but you know, that's different. But they're everywhere as well. So that's all on the surface. So there are other minerals, many other minerals and materials that you can mine in Astroneer. They're all based underground. So certain minerals you'll have to dig to a minimum level below the ground before you'll see them. So you need to do that safely. So if you've ever played Minecraft, you'll know that digging down is a bad idea because at some point you're going to hit a hole and land in some lava. Well, imagine that plus the fact that you will run out of oxygen because you haven't got tethers. So the safe way to dig is to be able to craft ramps, because you will find a massive hole with no way to get down safely and the tether won't reach and it'll be a disaster. So how do you craft ramps? Well, first thing you need to do is construct a canister. This will let you store earth, basically. So what you do, go into your backpack. You'll see in our tiny printer that lives in our backpack, you've got a few things, but small canister is one of them. So it just takes one unit of resin, one chunk of resin, and we can just hit the green button and it will build a canister. And this canister is going to allow you to store, so we'll come out of that. If we go into our mining tool, you'll see now that we can dig the earth. That will fill up the canister. You can see it on my back there. It's filling up the canister. Great. So what if we want to build up? Well, look. We hold Alt and we fill it back in. Excellent. That is the power of the canister. So with that in mind, we're going to head down into the mines of somewhere and we're going to dig and we're going to do it safely and we're not going to die. Might be worth making some tethers first. Remember, always carry plenty of tethers. So we're going to go down into this cave here, but I'm going to make some tethers, so I will get back to you in a moment when I have more tethers. Right, so I have got a good couple of bunches of tethers, and I've got some compound in case I need to make any more. So let's head down into this cave of livingness. It might not be a cave yet, but it will be shortly when we've dug our way through. So, as you go, putting tethers down as we go. Oh, missed. So luckily I can climb back up. I can grab this tether and we can move that back closer. There we go. Back on the tether. Okay. So we take out our digging tool. So as I mentioned, so normally if you just click, you will just dig through the earth. Now, in more recent editions of the game, after certain updates, you can see now we have this helpful ring, which shows us the capacity of our current canister, which is nearly full, which is quite handy, which means anything after that will be lost, but we don't really care because it's earth anyway. So that's how you dig. You just click. Hold down Alt and it will add material. If you hold down Control, it will level material. It will level ground out, which is handy. As you can see, I've just literally dug our first hole into oblivion. Let's just put a tether there so we're close. And we'll just carefully work our way in. As you can see, there's already a little bit of a drop there, so let's just make a hole so we can see what's going on. Okay, great. So obviously you've got a maximum range on this thing anyway. Oh, there goes a stack of rock, destroying the world as I go. So what we can do from here is just, you can find so the way I like to do it is I'll find an angle that's like appropriate, like that. And I will just, maybe not like that, let's just dig down a little bit. Okay, so you find an angle like that, which is going to slope downwards, and then you hold Control, and then we can level down to make a ramp that goes downwards like that. Hey presto, we've got a ramp. And it's that simple. So all you need to do is just be cautious as you go down. Now, these plants We'll get onto those, but basically most plants in this game will harm you if you go close. A lot of them will. Research samples, we're going to get onto them in a minute as well. So best thing to do with these plants is just dig out underneath them. They'll explode. If you're not too close, you'll be alright. They've built on these effects since I last played this game. They were that was much more dramatic than I remember it being. So that's how we make our ramps. We've made a ramp now. Look how safe it is. We can climb up, we can climb down, we're safe. So we're just going to go digging now. So what are we digging for? Well, there's all sorts of materials there down in these caves, and it definitely goes beyond the scope of a beginner's video to talk about every single compound you can make. But if you want to see various compounds and how to find them and what they look like, let me know and I'll do a video on that. But if you look at, if we go into our printing and our research, you'll see that there's things we can build already, like small printers, but there's things that are unpinkable. That's not a word. There are things that are unbuildable at the moment. They're pink because they haven't been bought. How do we buy them? We buy them with bytes. How do we get bytes? We get research samples. So, like this little fella here, this is a small research sample. All we'll need to do is hold F to scan it. Hey presto, 41 bytes. But, and I need to find one because they're much harder to find. You can get big research chunks. So they're giant rocks, they look like mostly. I think you can get like plant samples and stuff like that, but they're big anyway, and they have to be carried out. But what you need is a research chamber. I think it's called a research chamber. I could be wrong. So what we need, I was right, I'm glad, because how embarrassing would that be if I got it wrong, is a research chamber. So the research chamber's unlocked, we just need to build it. So we need 2 compound, 1 resin. By happy luck, oh no, I've used all my compound. So I will go and get some more compound, and then we will build our research chamber. Then we'll go looking for some research. So I will be right back. Right. Okay, so let's have a look. So so up here, just give you a guide on this, the guide to building things. So here we have small printer. This is stuff you can build on your backpack. This is a small printer, which is this guy. No, a medium printer. Sorry, medium printer, which is no. I was right first time. Starting medium printer. Yeah. So the medium printer. This is all stuff you can print on a small printer, and this is stuff you can build on a medium printer. So we need the medium printer to build our research chamber. So what we need to do is go to the large printer. We don't want that. So we want research chamber. There we go. So on our medium printer, we're going to build the research chamber. Let's go. While that builds, I'm going to go look for a research item to show you how this works. So I will be back when I found one of those. Right, so here we go. I have found a research item. This is what they look like. It's a massive chunk of rock or something similar like that. It's called a research item. As soon as you mouse over it, you'll see it. And then we've got the laborious walk back. You can't jump. You can sort of run a bit quicker. Eventually, you'll have a system to be able to store these and then put them on your backpack so that you can move normally, which is handy. You could also use things like the tractor or the buggy if you were feeling particularly creative and wanted to make it an underground road. You could do that if you wanted. But I just tend to just stumble along with it. You can also sort of throw them ahead of you, pick them up as you come. That makes you move a bit quicker, but I'm not nearly skillful enough to do that. So we'll just do it the old-fashioned way. So I'll get this back to the research chamber, to the base, and then we can just have a quick look at how this works. So I'll see you in a moment. This is how you throw it in front of you and walk faster. Just keep doing that. I can't do it really. I was just being modest. Right, okay, so we have got our research chamber. Let's open this up. Pop! And we're going to shove it on our large table. I think we're going to need more large tables because that's our large printer. Okay, so we'll put it on there. And exactly the same way as everything else works, it needs power. So we'll just run some power to this. Click. No, click. There we go. That is not the... Oh, okay. Didn't know we had one on the side. There we go. So now that we've got power, we just take our research item, we plonk it in here, and like everything else, we pop over, we hit F, and we flip the button, click start. And as you can see, it tells us how many bytes it's going to hold. So it's 565 bytes, this one. So as you can see, it's now running at 13 bytes per minute. This can be increased by having more power to the machine, but this bar at the bottom shows you the maximum power. I believe the maximum power this machine can use anyway. So you're probably looking at about 20 odd bytes per minute. It'll slowly work its way through that chunk. When it's done, we'll have all the bytes in our system to unlock other items. So, for instance, if we wanted to build a new... let's have a look. An auto extractor, for instance. 7,500 bytes. We currently have 300 or so. So, as you can tell, it does take a little bit of time and effort to get things unlocked. But that is the fun of the game. What would I build next? So, ideally, you want more power than you've got now. So, we can build some generators that can use plant matter, which is handy because there's lots of that around. We can build some wind turbine type generators, which only work when these wind lines are blowing past, but it's free energy when they do, so you can do that. But personally, I would probably, let's have a look what we've got. Small generator. So that's probably what I'd go for, because it only takes one compound, which we've already got, and it's already unlocked. So we'll start with that. So let's build a small generator. Build me a small generator. These have the added bonus of being floor mountable. So you can just place them anywhere. Like here, for instance. We will connect it up to the table. Like that. And then we'll throw some plant matter on it. And it will begin. And as you can hear, it's gone faster. If you can hear the sound, it's gone faster. We'll go and have a look. So as you can see, it's now running at 25 bytes per minute. So it's going to go a fair bit quicker by having a generator. The only downside to this is you've got to keep filling this up. But, you know, it's not the end of the world. There are bigger generators down the line that will use different materials, possibly more plant matter. They last a bit longer, so that's good. So that's us first research on the way, so we can leave that going, and we'll go and have a look down the cave, because I did find some new materials. I'll just quickly show you what that looks like, and then we can go from there. See you in a moment. So it's always good to keep your eyes open when you're in the caves anyway, because you might spot something new that you didn't know. So for instance, we have now got this material here, which when you actually hoover it up, you'll see when I finish one, is Sphalerite. So that's another material that we're going to be using to create more and more items. They get more and more complex, as you would imagine. So it's always good to keep your eye out and try not to do what I do, which is always get really excited because you can see something off in the distance, get close and realise you already know what it is. But that happens. So the other thing as well, so with the research, so some things you'll find research just about everywhere. They can come in various forms. So like this, for instance, now that I've killed that plant, there's a research sample. So all we need to do is just scan that. We'll get 35 more bytes, so that's good. So we've got Sphalerite there. Obviously remembering to tether if you want to live. There we go. Tethering. Oh. Okay, so there's more plants in there. We'll probably get more research off that. Deadly, deadly plants. Plant matter there. So there's more resin in here, obviously. But as you go, you will find more and more little holes in the ground. Is this one? No, it's not. Is it? Yes, it is. See? There you go. And this is how it goes. Exactly how you would imagine. Cave after cave after cave. You'll eventually dig down to the very pit of the earth. And there's as I say, the rarer the material on the planet. So certain planets, yeah, because there are more than one planet. Certain planets will have certain materials, but you'll have to get to a certain depth to actually find them. And the rarer they are, generally, the lower they are. And there's certain materials can only be found on other planets. So one of your big goals will be to create a rocket, which we can cover in another video. If you want to see a video about how to create the rocket, how I go about creating the rocket and chasing that down, then pop a comment below and let me know. If there's anything else in particular you want to see, pop a comment and let me know. So now we've got plenty of dirt in our canister. We're going to just see if we can start building a ramp down, which may be a bit steep actually. So let's just add a little bit on. That's it. That's probably more like it. Like that. Just so we don't slide down. We've run out of tethers, so that's probably a good idea as well. So have we got any compound? Yep. Tethers are always good. So let's throw a tether here. Obviously the other upside to tethers is they do light the cave, which makes life a lot easier. So you don't have to rely just on your little torch. So as we carefully go down, you'll see that the tethers will actually connect to each other that way. So really speaking, I don't need that tether at the end, but we'll leave it there for now. So let's get our terrain tool out, and we'll just level this down a bit more. And then what I'll probably do is find another face. Like that. Like that. I'll take that down. So we'll just carefully work our way down, drop a tether. So as you can see, this is the way to do it without falling to your death. So we'll get another face here. Let's try it like that. That's too, just a little bit too steep for me. Right, okay, so there we go. We can build it like that. We'll add another tether. And then we'll go like... Oh, no, don't do that. Accidentally dug my own ramp out. And there we are, we're on another level. So it just continues down like this. So I think we might see... See, that's compound there. That looks like compound over there. That could be something new. That's a research item, which we'll get in a moment, because we'll need as much of that as we can get our hands on. So, there you go. I think that probably covers it down to the major exploration. So, steady as you go, take lots of tethers, and just make sure you build your ramps not too steep, because you will slide down them, and it is fun until you realise that you are out of tether range and can't get out. Obviously, the other thing to remember is if you do happen to fall down a hole, you can dig a ramp upwards as well as downwards. So don't panic, just get on it as quickly as you can before your oxygen runs out. And that's about it. So don't forget to pop a comment below if there's anything else you think you want to see. If you want to see me go run through some of the compounds and combinations of materials and what we can expect on the starter planet, then pop a comment below, obviously, like I said that. And if you want to see how to make a rocket and how we're going to escape the planet, also pop a comment below. And don't forget to check out the first part of this video if you haven't already. It goes through the very basics. And that's about it. So thanks for watching, guys. If you found this useful, then give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more. And don't forget to play it on hard mode. Bye.